All right, so we're going to be discussing the Final Fantasy VII Remake up until Aerith's house.
Pretty much.
So that's that. Everything everything. Nothing after that. Everything before that, and we're going to start discussing this in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're in spoiler talk. FF7
All right,
Remake.
so for my own purposes, I'm really glad that I put the chat into emote mode long ago.
Yeah. Good call, because you can't trust one guy. You can never trust one guy. One guy is the worst.
Obviously the game is incredible.
It's fantastic.
So far, at least.
It's quadruple A.
The additions that I've encountered so far have all nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything to do with going to hang out with Jesse's mom was incredible. Jesse is the thirstiest bitch that has ever lived.
Jesse's mom has got it going on.
And then you find out that Jesse's a theater kid. And you're like, Cloud's constant new dialogue options are bang on and hilarious. I started to squeal with laughter at Wedge telling him like, "Oh, come on, bro," and Cloud just jumping off, going like, "I'm not your bro."
Yeah,
it's like he is such a petulant, weird asshole.
Cloud's character has never come through more clear than in this game, and
like I'm constantly laughing to the point of near tears.
We talked a lot about what can you do to make a version of this character that will like not shatter everyone's childhood brain versions of the character, but just leave you with a guy that people kind of like, okay, I like that guy. And so far, I think they're nailing it. So far, I really do feel his like stubbornness to be social, like he wants to be cool
and aloof.
Exactly. And to him, being cool means doing the cool thing, but it also means saying the cool thing. And it also means not high-fiving when someone holds their hand out to you.
So that is Woolie, the high five is a whole thread.
Like
it's a whole journey. You've only seen
so
a piece
good.
of it.
It's so like that straight up like, dude, you're
don't leave me hanging.
You know? And he's like, no, cool guys leave you hanging.
I think the one that got me the best is when the old lady is like assuming you have the skills to pay the bills, and he like insta blurts out in like this annoyed tone, like, "I've got skills." It is the picture perfect encapsulation of the imitation of cool.
Yeah.
And instead of actually being cool.
And think about someone that hot going through life, right? You have to imagine like he's definitely thinking that he can do more than he's capable of in a social context.
Tifa is dead on with her adorable girl next door, perfect in every way, everything.
Everyone's laying it on thick, but you can believe it because you're Cloud.
Yeah.
Everyone is smearing it with the fucking pulp, but you're Cloud, so you can believe it. Going out of their way.
Fully insane.
Okay, so to keep talking about Cloud a little bit.
Okay, you want to say okay?
No, I was just gonna say that like with the so far, you know, the characterization where it's like clearly he clearly you're on a journey of softening him up, right?
Yeah.
Clearly you're on a journey of getting him to be more, you know, like part of the gang and wanting to go along, and like you know the fucking sitting at the bar while Avalanche is
celebrating
is like, oh yeah, time to go, asshole, you know, like Avalanche, excuse me, is celebrating, and you're just like, fucking, now you get to feel it, right? But there's definitely that little stubborn underbelly that is always into this, just like, no,
I'm cool,
I don't mind, whatever, let's
I'm the coolest one here, I don't care, that's how cool I am.
And the thing is, we would always do that making fun of like Cloud in these and in before this game came out.
100%.
But now you're seeing that tone in evidenced in the game, and it's perfect. And because of that, you know how you would interpret in the past where he just like put his hand on his head and look down and just be like, ugh, you know. Yeah. Now you're getting those moments like
as full scenes.
As full scenes, exactly. So Aerith fucking throws some dumb joke out, and he goes, "Oh God, you're killing me," you know.
Or Jesse's like hanging off of him, and he's like, "Jesus, you're fucking desperate, aren't you?"
No promises or not gonna happen.
No promises.
Yeah. So if you go not gonna happen, Jesse's like, too strong. Okay, I guess I'll have to switch up my approach then.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's great about Cloud. What I like about Aerith so far is that, like, exactly the whole like, you don't need to protect me, I can do my own thing, right? She says a lot of that in battle.
She's really sarcastic and flippant.
But she's also like, she's sarcastic and flippant while somehow still being naive and earnest. But you can definitely tell that like there's a moment where the naivete is an act, you know?
Yeah,
and so she's climbing the ladder and she's like, I can do this on my own, whatever. And then he's like, oh yeah, okay. And then the ladder cracks and falls underneath her and she goes, shit.
There's a perfect line read about like 25 minutes from where you are right now, Wooly, in which you're doing side quests for people in that little slum area. And she says, like, see, you're starting to get the hang of this. People are liking you more. And he goes, it's a job's a job. I mean, I did it for the money. Mm-hmm. Like, some people must do it for fun, I guess. And she goes, hi, I'm some people. And just stares at him. And he just stares back. And it's like, yes,
snippy,
that is
snippy. Yeah.
But like the sarcasm's always like sugary sweet.
That's interesting because, one, Cloud is definitely the hero of Pay Me more than ever before. We used to talk about Link being the hero of Pay Me.
You shake down children.
Yeah. Cloud is 100% fuck you, pay me. Hand out, you know? But I'm curious about what you're talking about there with her, because with Tifa earlier on, when you're running through the first area, she's pretty much just like, you can hear in her voice that she's like, okay, so we're good for the money. Don't worry. I hope you don't mind the exposure part of this that we got to go through first, though. Sorry, you know? And like, it's a bit more, and he's just like, job's a job.
They do a good job of making her like sympathetic and adorable and sweet and all these nice things, but also as being the one member of the team that might not be down for hardcore terrorism.
And here's the problem: is if you're going off of that old Tifa, can you do me a solid? Can you do me a solid, Cloud? Right?
Yeah.
You're going off of that thing where it's just like, come on in, get in, get roped up in fucking eco-terrorism. What are you signing up for? And then you're seeing that she herself exactly is like, I don't know, right? And
do we really need to blow them up, guys?
And the reason why that's especially a breath of fresh air in this context is, you know, you were always fucking terrorists, right? But here you get to follow through and see like the massive explosion where the bomb should not have been that big. And then
it kills a bunch of, I thought we were going to see like a steel beam through like a baby carriage.
Yeah. Well, you walk through the town afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. And then
the town is fucked.
The town is completely fucked, right? And of course it's not their doing. It's pure Shinra, right? But you approach and like at first you get out of the area, you're not fully in the city yet, but you kind of see how things are fucked up, and then everyone goes, "Oh shit, what? That's not right." And like the realness kicks in, right?
And then this long thread of like, dude, we got to fix the bomb. It can't do this again.
Well, not even that. Just I'm talking about in this pure moment where they get out of the fucking reactor.
Oh yeah.
And then they're all like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Isn't right." And then Barrett goes, "Hey, no, I'm the one that's gonna carry your load, you know? And then he goes into
get rid of that fucking pizza, then follow me. You know?
He picks it up, right? He sees that moment of like actual reflection and goes, no. I'm here to pump you up. This is it. We're doing the right thing. And it's totally like absolutely how you take a moment of like, what the fuck are we doing? And you turn it into like, yeah, okay, yeah, totally. And they all get motivated, right?
And it's like, okay, what was Barrett's deal in the original? The thing with Barrett is that unlike almost everybody in the team, he is a true believer.
True believer. Yeah.
In the cause. Such a true believer that this group is actually a splinter group of real Avalanche that got kicked out for being too extreme.
Yeah. So now you get to see that fanaticism coming out and picking them up from moments of doubt, right? And dude, think about every fucking terrorism group where you can imagine that happening, right? The one absolutely charismatic, pulling it through character can convince the others that are like, I don't know. And then it's like, nah, fuck those doubts and fears.
Don't worry, man. I'll shoulder all your doubts, all your insecurities.
It's on me, you know? And then they're like, okay. And then they get pumped and they're like, yes, right? And then Jessie continues to have her doubts because she knows that she's doing she's building it, right? Yeah. Cloud, in the moment, right off the bat, goes, what's done is done.
It's like you fucked it up. You can't unfuck it.
Right? And he's still just like, I don't care either way, but very much is just like, it happened, this is where we're at. And like goes for the ethically dubious, you know, response, but he's just like, hey man, I'm a merc, that is what it is, you know? And like right off the bat, that's where he is. He's at the point of like, I don't care what the job I'm doing is, right?
There's a weird little hidden story detail about the job that me and my chat kept talking about, and that is the job was for 2,000 gil, right?
2,000 gil.
Dude, what is that?
Nothing.
Because that's the price of like a single armband.
It's a fucking bulletproof vest and a bracelet.
It's either $20 or $200. Right? It's not 2,000.
It's not $2,000.
So like,
it's
dude,
nothing.
You are charging cheap for your eco-terrorism.
It's crazy nothing. It's crazy nothing, right? Especially considering the money that you can get from the upper plate. But yeah. So you get that thing, right? And so, but I want to say that like if Cloud is the viewer, is the player, and we're journeying together. He says that what's done is done. We walk into the streets. You get to see how bad it is. You get to hear how bad it is. And then you get to the train station. And he goes, train station's still intact. And then you see people under the bridge. And then it just fucking collapses on them. Like Cloud stops and watches like a bunch of people just die. And you go, oh my God, this is... What the fuck is this?
Done, man.
You know?
What's done is done.
And it's interesting because now you get to you're judging these characters not based on what they did, but based on what they think they did and how they feel about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's very very interesting to see.
And then right after that, you get your first brand new piece of content.
Yes.
Which is an early Sephiroth flashback, which I think is done really well because the streets start to turn into Nibelheim.
Yeah. The fire rises.
And you get to argue with Sephiroth.
You see that alleyway. I'm like, that alleyway is a little too well lit for me to not go down it.
It sure is.
And they're like, oh, we're going back down that alleyway.
There are three types of content in Final Fantasy VII Remastered. There is old shit. So maybe it's expanded, but it's like Mako Reactor 8.
It's what we're doing.
Bombing run, right? Then there's what I would call remix stuff. So falling through the church, you get to see a little vision from not Cloud, who talks to him, right? Or those certain scenes. Nibelheim flashbacks where you like Cloud has the conversation with his mom about older women earlier in the game.
Every color desaturation moment that with text you know, the not Cloud stuff, has been turned into just like radio noise. And it's kind of like little zips and bips and signals. And it's interesting because it's more visual, and it feels more like these, like, you know, amnesiac headache moments kind of thing. But the text gives you more to chew on in each context.
And then there's the third one, which is brand new shit.
Yeah.
Like new. Number one with a bullet is your ghosts.
Yep.
Number two with a somehow even bigger bullet is flashbacks to things that haven't happened.
Sephiroth, I'm walking right up at that first meeting with Flower Girl and just straight up doing the, like, we're walking through this moment and I'm telling you what's happening. And you're like, wait, what? And then we cut back to playing through it. And I'm like, okay. Why are you giving me End of Ava vibes from that moment?
There is, okay, so early on, one of the things that really weirded me out was that they say, hey, Cloud, for the Mako Reactor 5, you're off the team. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's explicit. It's not like like, that's incorrect. And then we go through a long cutscene in which ghosts injure Jessie's leg,
and
which means she's off and Cloud's on.
And the ghosts correct the otherwise incorrect timeline that is Cloud is off the team for the second bomb.
And then we go to the church in which you fight and beat Reno.
Yeah.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
And then ghosts physically drag you into the back so that you can drop barrels or chandeliers on them.
And then physically protect Aerith, whereas
from
before,
falling down because she's not.
And in the beginning, remember when she's being surrounded by them? Right? So they're like, what, are they attacking her? No, not really. But
what they're doing,
they're corralling her.
Out.
They're sheepdog corralling her into being wherever she is and make sure that she can't move.
Push her from the alley into the street until Cloud shows up.
Exactly. Meet
Cloud, hand off a flower.
Yes.
Now push her back into the alley.
Yes.
And force Cloud to leave.
Exactly.
So, somewhere halfway through my first stream when that second stream when that Jessie thing happened, I took a dead stare at my camera and said, how do you guys feel about those Ava movies? And then I didn't look at my chat for 20 minutes.
Right.
And kept playing.
Yeah.
But the one that got
the rebuild,
the one that made me very convinced of what is actually going on is that when Aerith and Cloud touch for the first time, you see a vision of her death. It's like 10 frames. But you see,
you caught it?
You see Holy falling into the water.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, you didn't? So
I didn't
when they meet in the church, and he touches like her hand or whatever, you see her kneeling, then you see water, and then you see a green materia falling into the water.
Okay.
That is her death. Like, period.
Okay.
And that can't be a flashback.
But I mean, you didn't even have to fucking telegraph it that hard, because I think Sephi doing the shoulder tap was clear enough.
Well,
Sephiroth he walks past her, making reference to a future that hasn't happened yet.
Well, also I went back and checked the first conversation you have with Seph in the game.
Yeah,
had a really confusing line that I didn't quite understand. And Cloud looks at him and goes, "You can't be here. You're dead.
Yeah,
I killed you."
Yeah.
And Cloud says, "Of course you did. It was the height of our life together." And it's like, because he doesn't die in Nibelheim. He dies at the end of Advent Children. And do you remember what the last thing he says before he dies at the end of Advent Children was?
What?
He says, "I'll never be a memory."
That's true. He does say that.
So this is a sequel. This is assuredly a sequel. Or very literally a remake.
It is.
Um,
It is. It is. It is taking the opportunity to give you all the feelings you would get from remaking a story like this and revisiting it, while and then also going, we have the liberty to coat something new on top of it. So you still get the nostalgia. The nostalgia value is still very much intact, but there's a little bit of something else for you right here. It's your rebuild.
I was overcome with the feeling of calling it like 7.77. You cannot remake.
Yeah. Sure. Down with that.
Granted, it's always possible it's not a sequel, and these are like visions of a different time or a different universe, or or the live stream goes to different places. Any particular.
But here's the thing, though, Pat. Okay, now that this is potentially what's up, and I find that to be very interesting because it's not taking away from the nostalgia trip, right? And it's not taking away from the elaboration on things that needed elaborating. Whatever is new there's always the risk that it might not be good, so you don't know where that's going, right? But this is one game, and there are more to come.
So I've been asked over and over by friends of mine who are like playing it, but they're not as far as I am.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, and so I feel like an insane person. Almost everybody in my Discord that I was talking to last night has never played the original, so they can't tell what stuff is new.
A bunch of kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
24, 25, 26.
Okay.
Right? And or didn't have a PlayStation. And they're like, oh, I don't know what's new. This seems pretty crazy. And it's like, they're like, what do you think they're gonna do for the second and third remake? And do you think they'll be accurate? And I'm like,
exactly.
Because like the answer I want to give them is, fuck no, it's not going to be accurate. It's probably going to be completely different.
No.
You'll hit up similar locations and certain events will occur, but the direction this shit is on is like, because it's the kind of thing where like a timeline stuff where you see a minor change early and that starts to expand,
ripple, and then we get the snowball effect. 100%, right? Exactly. I think that providing that it depends, because they have their plan for now, and we're looking at what's going on. I fully expect us to see the rest of this trip through those games continue to 100% deliver on the nostalgia, 100%,
but also be out of order and different.
And just go in wilder, more different places. And here is my call out, right? I don't know if we do this, but it would be fucking fascinating if the last game or the last half of the last game is just new shit. New shit.
Yeah.
That would be so interesting.
So I've got a notepad file on my PC.
Okay.
On my desktop, and the notepad file is called predictions.txt, and I'm updating it every stream, and I'm not like changing it. I'm going first stream, second stream, third stream.
Yeah,
right.
Because you know what, you do your scattershot guesses, so that's your style.
But here's the thing, though. So Sephiroth's behavior is really weird and timeliney. So is Aerith's.
Doesn't Sephiroth tell you to help the people?
He literally says you have to leave Midgar, you have to survive, save the planet.
Save the planet. Yeah.
And it's like stick with Avalanche, basically.
Yeah. Sephiroth tells you to save the planet.
And Aerith, you got to her house, right?
Yeah.
There's a line where Cloud snaps at her and goes, "Stop acting like you know me." And she waves it off.
Mm-hmm.
And through the sequence that you're about to do, she is desperate to do anything she can to spend as much time with Cloud as possible and slow him down.
Did you walk to the church door?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got that line.
But remind me.
When you land in the bed of flowers, you get up and you walk to the church door where Reno comes in.
Yeah.
And you get a special line there.
Oh, I did not get that at that time. What happened?
Okay, so you get up from the bed of flowers, and she goes, "Gee, I guess I got all this time to help tend these flowers. what should I do, or whatever. And then you start walking away from her instead of talking to her right away. And as you walk through the pews, she goes, "Oh, I'll just be here all on my lonesome with so much time and nothing to do." And she just trails off, and then you will keep walking, and then you hit the door where other Cloud is supposed to be. You hit the door where Zach would be leaning up on the door, and you get a voice from behind the door with just question mark, and it just goes, "Hey, stick around. We got time. You got nowhere to be."
Yeah, okay, so...
Literally behind the door, he tells you, "Hey, man, we got nowhere to be. Stick around." From where he's fucking leaning.
There's a bit a little further in that feeds this question.
Pure Easter egg.
So in the original, when you were in Sector 7, or you're going to Sector 7, you're hanging out on the playground, and Tifa rolls by in the horror wagon.
And that's how. And then you go, "What? What the fuck? Why is she going to?"
Right,
Yeah.
And then you chase after her, and Aerith's like, "Don't you have to get back to Sector 7?" Right, and you go, "No, I have to go and find Tifa." Right, and you run into Tifa right away. In this one, Cloud, you actually talk to her, and Cloud's about to go back to Sector 7, and Aerith is like, "No, you have to follow her. You have to go to Wall Market." And pushes you.
Don't you follow her and you don't know why she's going, and then later on you find out she's undercover.
Yes, but here, in the original, Aerith tried to send you off to Sector 7 and keep her with you and ignore Tifa. And here you're about to leave and she goes, No, you have to go after Tifa. Don't you care about her?
Okay.
You have to go into Wall Market.
Now here's the problem with this though, right? The idea that Sephiroth and Aerith know what's going on, and they're acting as the Rei Ayanami of this world. The problem with that is that the ghosts themselves, I'm going to call them the reunion ghosts because fuck off. What do you look at them, right? I
think they're literally called enigmatic spirits.
And you're right, because you fight the enigmatic spirit. It's true. The enigmatic spirits are
somebody might chat termed them as the anti-retcon ghosts. Stop it. Hit Jesse in the knee. Listen, they are also corralling and forcing Aerith to do things, and she doesn't understand them, right? Yeah. So they physically pull you into a different room out of your control.
They block Reno and his goons from grabbing her while you're up on the roof. That's the thing. So even if she's more aware than Cloud is of something, and even if fucking Sephiroth is more aware than Cloud is of something, they are also playing her, and she's not. You know what I mean? She's at their mercy. Is what I'm saying. She's at their whims.
There is one other thing that I remembered.
I was going to bring up another thing too. Go ahead.
When you're leaving the church, Aerith points out that you can see the wall.
Yeah.
And she says, I've never felt like leaving the wall. I'm too afraid to go outside into the world.
There's so much I can do here.
And also, I tend to fuck everything up. I'm like, that is not like that character at all. That is weird. That sounds like she's afraid to leave and go out into the wider world.
Did she have lines about wanting to get the fuck out? In the original?
No.
Okay.
It was that doesn't fit with that personality at all. So about our retcon ghosts, I think the most important thing about them is that they give us a fight with them in which you show that they can be killed.
And they're physical.
And they are physical and are acting in a physical manner.
You can stagger the shit out of them. Yes.
Yeah, which means that they are not an impenetrable hyper god force.
No.
They are a mystical push force, right? But they can be resisted.
And they will waste your time dying in an area while they get the job done when they're doing whatever they have to do, right? So here's the other bit now. You go up to your fucking apartment, and they're like, by the way, check on that neighbor to the right. And then you go to the neighbor to the right, and you're like, what the fuck? This early? right? And you get a fucking a fucking Genova clone.
Little Sephiroth freakout moment.
Little Sephi clone freak. And you're like, what, this early?
And then you're like, this guy are sick?
And I forgot the number on his shoulder.
It was the guy, I think that guy was like 4 or maybe 9.
Yeah, I think it was 9 or something like that. But
there's
yeah.
a shit ton of them. So,
But like I was like really, I was like, what? Here, right now, and then the first thing I thought when I saw that is like, okay, so reunion theory off the jump is your next door neighbor is put in place to sit next to you.
Just naturally end up in the same location.
It's going to happen. Stand users are drawn together.
I've run into another one as well by this point, and it's just like it does feel very much like stand users. It's like,
yeah,
how did I happen to run into this
49, that's it. Yeah. Reunion theory, right? Yeah. That's it. It's just it's doing it. It's doing it. So so you get all that, right? Now all this new shit aside, there's still a couple of old things that are like fun and worth talking about. And then there's the expanded shit, as you said, right? It's not brand new shit. It's just expanded and it could have been there.
I think the funniest one of those is that the in the Mako Reactor 5 assault, the artificial sunroom was one screen in FF7. It was one screen in which you climbed up a ladder. You ran down and to the left, and then you climbed up a ladder and went into a vent.
Now it's the longest dungeon I've played so far.
It's like an hour and a half.
I took longer because I retraced my steps to get all the secrets.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more about that specifically in a second. I wanted to address the fucking dweeb in the room that is Rush. Is he not the biggest fucking loser you've ever seen?
So Roche is awesome.
He's such a fucking tard.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Roche. I look at him and I go, man, there's something with the soldier program that makes you go crazy. Like every single person that comes out of that program is mentally unstable.
Like, his weird way of talking on the bike is already just like what are you, like, are you going for like, I'm a weird, like, you're just going for like, I'm a street hog guy, I'm a motorcycle guy, but I'm also like a pop, like not pop, what's the word, like fucking prissy, high society, like.
I can tell you exactly what Roche is. Roche is, it's the one problem I have with the game, and that is the game totally occasionally does feel, it's still good, but it feels like actual like Naruto filler. Like, that guy is a anime villain of the week in a filler episode, and he does not matter, and he will never return. And the guy I thought you were going to talk about was Chadley.
No, not even.
Chadley is hilariously, bizarrely inserted.
Chadley is the weirdest thing ever.
He fits nothing.
What a strange.
He fits nothing.
He is a creature. Chadley is a creature. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Chadley. I get nefarious vibes, though. He scares me.
He has a VR machine, man.
Chadley scares the shit out of me.
You know what Chadley is? He looks like an NPC out of the Yakuza series.
Is that a butterfly on his shoulder?
No, it's a fucking bandana he's tied to be bizarre.
Okay. So there's that. There's God, what's his name? The fucking the kid you gotta save. Just not Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah, okay, it is Johnny. Yeah, there's Johnny, who's just big old fucking idiot, and he walks into the back, and then on the way into the back, he's like, "Oh, it must have been Jessie. She must have," and you're just like,
it's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
The worst. It's Phantom Thieves all over again. Yeah.
And you get a really good moment where it's like it shows off that's like implicitly like Cloud has not been back for a while. Tifa is not used to his new personality. And what better way to show that than the fact that Cloud was willing to just murder this guy for nothing, for the betterment of the gang that he doesn't even really care about.
So he goes straight to he's a talker, right? Which is the same as in the beginning of the game when he's like, what's done is done, whatever. People died. Daddy cried. Inky Pinky Ponky. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, he's a talker. And then Tifa's like, hey, whoa, right? And we've seen that type of moment happen in various fiction before, where you know, like the dark soldier is willing to off the person who is not really in the, you know, doesn't really need to be killed, but is just a potential threat. Leave no traces, right? And then Tifa, thankfully, goes, Cloud, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck,
You're
man?
freaking me out, dude.
What happened? What are you? What happened to you, you know? And then Cloud's like,
I was in Soldier.
I was Soldier, though.
You know what else I really love now that we're talking about that? Because we have so much more dialogue with Cloud, particularly dialogue with Cloud and Tifa.
Yeah.
We have gotten a much more natural extension of. So, Cloud, what was it like in Soldier? It was tough. Hey, you traded power for what was it? Traded power for
time on the clock.
Life.
Time on the
you
clock.
Got time on the clock because of this genetic degradation. You knew that, right? Yeah, I knew that.
And Tifa's like, what the fuck?
And Roche is like, soldier, huh? What class? First, I guess that's why I don't know who you are. Yeah,
right.
That's why.
He's almost like, yeah, sure you are. You know, whatever.
They changed one scene later. So you know, Cloud and Aerith talking on the playground, and they're talking about Zack, but they don't actually say Zack.
Sure.
In the original, it was, oh, you look just like my first boyfriend, and there was like that flash that denotes Cloud's being insane. On this one, he actually gets to ask her his name.
Oh,
and it cuts to a shot of her mouth saying the word.
Oh,
but there's no sound, and it's got the filter on it,
like the Urizen moment.
Yeah, and Cloud starts to have a panic attack until the subject has changed.
Yeah,
and it's like,
okay, well, I'm almost there. So
and I'm like, because it was hilarious, because I'm like, wouldn't Cloud start to really lose his mind if he actually heard the name?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
10 seconds later, that happened, and I'm like, oh, perfect. That's perfect. He would start to lose his shit if he heard the name even once.
Because remember that when he actually sees, so that's the thing about the flashback voices now, or the other Cloud voices, is that the representation of them is actually, you see the hand on the shoulder and you see the he's talking to him in the void, but then
it's Cloud.
It's Cloud. He's talking to himself.
Of course he's talking to himself.
Right. So, you know,
who else would he be talking to?
So that's what Cloud inserts into his brain, is he inserts himself right there, you know?
This is really fascinating because Cloud's our protagonist, and FF7 was a story with one of the most unreliable narrators ever to almost any game story I can think of. And now we're adding like a whole sub layer of, now we can't trust Cloud.
Nope.
But we also can't trust like the story itself.
You can trust the ghosts.
Yes, you can trust the ghosts.
The retcon ghosts know what's what. That's what you can trust. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is,
are the retcon ghosts going to push out Red's rocket?
We're too far from there. That's late.
It's in the game.
That's
in
late.
the game.
That's going to be late. Fucking Hojo. Turn on the cameras. Should I be filming this, or?
Yeah, man, start filming it. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's my fetish.
It's science, I mean. Ha.
Yes. Okay, so there's a couple things about this game in general, right? Quadruple A. Money is ridiculous. And
well, maybe. Because it flip-flops between quadruple A and A. Like the textures in like the slums are hilarious.
Dude, I was about to say the slums are so like well crafted as far as just junk strewn about into a landscape.
It has to be a bug. It has to be a texture bug.
The slums are like there's moments where textures pop, certainly. I caught one, but it wasn't in the slums. I caught a texture pop in around the Seventh Heaven.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking like the door to your apartment looks like a PS1 game.
Okay.
Like, it's hilarious.
But like walking through the fucking back church area with Aerith, it's fucking immaculate garbage. Garbage has never looked this beautiful.
There's the moment in the town where the kids are playing around this like flipped over car and the undercarriage has all this like vine growth in it, and it's like, Jesus.
So it's crazy. And then at the same time, as soon as you start walking and interacting with people on the overworld, and as soon as you start talking to characters and they talk back to you, you feel the FF15. FF15 comes out hard, right?
Yeah, like anyone who's not a main character is a non-main character.
When you even talking to shopkeeps and talking to like Tifa on the overworld, though, it does a kind of camera cut that is like, wherever the world is, I'm going to put the conversation cam right here, and I'm going to lean in and do this kind of animation as I'm talking, and that's an FF15 thing. You feel it.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's like, no, you're going to use the default rigging for conversations. The animation and camera team are going to go work on the Mako Reactor 5 walk-in, right?
Yes, yes. So the
side quest bitches you're going to use the default shot, reverse shot bullshit.
So apparently, in 14, this started to become a thing, and then 15 has a bunch of this. But the idea of of chatter of the city, where you don't walk up to every NPC and talk to them, they just speak and they have lives that they're living.
There's just ambient dialogue. Yeah.
So I didn't get to experience that much, and I know that there's ambient dialogue. Yeah, 15 has it, but I feel like this game goes above and beyond with the amount.
Oh, there's so much that's covering like the whole left side of my screen.
It's insane, right? And it completely replaces RPG run up to person and talk to them to see what they say dialogue, because Cloud's not talking to strangers. Who the fuck is running through a town talking to everybody in a crowd?
No one.
Nonsense, right? So
it's Yakuza's been doing it forever, where you have ambient crowd dialogue and you just have text boxes pop over.
And you can slow down to listen to a conversation that's interesting to you, right? And then occasionally, when someone does talk to you specifically, you press the triangle button to get that line directed at you, and it's a whole different setup. But everything of the chatter of the city is just background, because that those days are gone, you know?
Yeah.
The quality of life that comes from running into the elevator to leave that fucking sunlight area, and Barrett's like, "Hey, didn't you see some materia you wanted to go pick up?" I'm like, "Yes, I did."
It's every time. Every single time I've gone down the wrong path, like, I don't think there's all that much down here. This doesn't look like the right way to go. Like,
Aerith,
yes, perfect.
Aerith, literally, you get to a fork in the road, and you're like, which one's hard progress, right? You turn left, and Aerith is like, yeah, this area is incomplete, leads to a dead end.
That's the one I'm literally thinking
of. So good. Okay? And then again, and just in case that's not enough for you, here's the other thing you get. You're looking at the fork in the road, you turn left, the compass at the top of the screen rotates. You turn right, the goal is on the right path.
Yeah.
So the next trigger point is down there, so you know immediately, oh, fuck, yeah, we're going left. It's so nice to not have to worry about that, you know? There are moments where you're like, what if I try to leave right now instead of waiting? What if I say this instead of that? What if I do this option? You can explore those things, and there's definitely like a couple of places where you can fuck around with that. But for the most part, the worry of being forced into critical path without getting everything you looked for is alleviated, because the game is telling you. Haven't we been on this elevator before? Hey, Cloud, you know where you're going, right?
Like, I completely agree.
The lights on the stairway, the lights in the subway, the lights on the trains. If it's blue, you're moving forward. If it's red, you're going back.
It's
you
great.
know? And then of course you stop and you see materia far in the distance and you're like, okay, how do I get there? And
One
then
of those is really far in the distance.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the sun, the artificial sun one, like that purple one. Holy
Yep.
shit.
And it took a second, and I'm like, stop, look at the map. Okay, now retrace and look physically at the platforms and what leads to where. And then you're like, it's like the game is helpful at that. I love that. And it's the best.
Hey, how about you finish the side quest? You just want to return to the guy who gave it to you and instantly turn it in?
Teleport to hand in your side quest. Yeah.
Thank you.
The quality of
want
life
to do that.
is through the roof. And here, I have one feature. I have one feature that to me is, well, how about this, right? The background chatter with the NPCs, when you have a certain party member with you, if you got Tifa, they go, hey, Tifa, how's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, Aerith, what's up, right? Number one with a bullet. You want to talk about your OCD savers, okay?
Yeah.
I got one for you. This is, from now on, if your game doesn't do this, fuck your game.
All right.
The clock that is in the bottom left corner of the screen when you pause the game is your save clock. It ticks as you play. You save, you pause, you walk away, it ticks, it does what it does. Back in the day when you finished playing a game, you turn the system off and walk away from it. Who cares? Nowadays, you turn a game on, you leave it, you walk away, you go eat dinner, you come back, you suspend it, you do whatever. After, I want to say, about 2 minutes of in-game time of not touching the controller, the fucking save clock stops.
Oh, that's nice.
So your numbers for game completion
Are real.
Yeah. Because it knows you're not playing anymore.
That's
really
good.
The best fucking feature in the world.
That's really good.
It's amazing. I can't believe we've never gotten this. I can't believe we've come this far into video games and we hold over the clock running in the background shit from the days of turning the console off, and we've never updated that shit. Go to your copy of FF7, pause it, watch that clock, walk away, come back to it, use the bathroom and come back to it. It will turn gray and fucking pause for you because it knows you're not playing anymore. But if you're using the menus and upgrading your materia and doing shit, just moving the menu around, it resumes the clock. Unbelievable quality of life.
I wouldn't have thought that you'd be so into that kind of feature.
I hate inflated times from leaving my save going. I hate
you know what I hate more? I hate times that are way under what they actually are.
Or that.
Where you're playing and it took you like 4 days and your completion time is like 8 hours and you're like, what? How is that even possible? What weren't you counting?
Like I was playing, or the Steam game that you open up and then you use, then you walk away from, and then you close it and then it says you've been playing this game for 15 days.
And you're like, oops.
What?
That's a problem that's never happened to anyone other than crazy people.
You know? I feel, well, okay, no, I can give you a real world example of that is, I'm playing Legend of Bumbo and I really enjoy it, but Bumbo, you cannot pause in the middle of a run. You cannot stop and resume in the, so if you quit, it's done. So when I want to run, but I want to go do shit and come back to it, I just got to leave it running. Okay. Anyway, the clock stops when you stop playing, man. Amazing.
Game's good. Excited to play more of game.
Yep, absolutely.
I can already taste what I can see what is going to occur in this game as being controversial.
Yeah.
Because it's not
departure.
It's explicitly not what people signed up for.
Yeah. That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah.
It is,
yeah.
Like whatever it happens to be, it's going to be like, no, you thought you were getting this, but instead you're getting this. And whether or not you even would have possibly liked what that would have been, the fact is most people came here for very specific reasons.
Yes, they came here to relive it, and that's it. They came.
Personally, I find this new route way more interesting.
It's a fun surprise.
Unless it's bad.
Unless it's bad. It's a fun surprise.
So, you know.
And yeah, and I mean, I would even go as far as to say that like, there's going to be people that definitely don't like it just on the premise because it's like, you know, it's called certainly remake.
I waited 23 years for this, and it's not even what you told me it was.
And I hated every single piece of expanded content.
Yeah, I've seen people like that are just like, I can't stand
everything.
I can't stand this expansion of these stories. I just want to see the stuff I know. And it's like, well, then that game would be really short, dude.
Yep. There's definitely fans out there that absolutely are not down with anything besides the core game itself. And
as of right now, I have greatly enjoyed the expanded narrative.
I'm curious. They've piqued my interest, and I want to know where you're going with this. Motherfucker, am I correct in when Rush holds up his sword and it gleams in the light that's not the enhanced sword?
Enhanced sword specifically being
one of Cloud's blades that you pick up, the one with the
no, it's not. It's Zack's.
The one that he's holding? Rush?
Yeah, that's the blade they give to soldier second class or
before Angeal gives him the Buster sword.
Yeah, it's straight up Zack's sword.
He's okay, right, okay. Because I'm like, that sword, isn't that what? Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Right, okay.
Thanks, baby. Orange juice just arrived. Oh, goody me. Thank you, darling.
I guess yeah, so there's all that that we talked about. Pretty much, yeah, it seems fine. I think I had one other thing.
I'm sure we'll have more to say next week.
Oh yeah. They're just
I'm expecting a hard left turn.
I like the doubts that Amazon. I like the doubts that Avalanche shows when you know that increase. I like the fact that they're more like, okay, doing the right thing. Yeah, you know, right. I like that everyone fucking hates them. Everyone in your immediate surroundings is like, assholes, no more bombings. No more fucking bombings, you jerks. And then on the train, right, you're getting fucking Shinra middle management.
That dude is the bravest. I love that guy.
Have we seen, I forget did the trailer show us Reeve?
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks good.
Okay. Middle management man.
Middle manager
becomes a character. And he's standing up and he has recurring moments.
You see him stands up for the company to Barrett.
Yes.
Who is the scariest man in the world.
Twice. And he's in the world with his subordinates. Like, okay, when I move up, you guys are moving up too. Yeah. And then he's got his wife and his kid. And you're following Shinra middle management man throughout the story. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm down for this.
I love that guy.
It's great. It's great. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot more to go on.
There's plenty to talk about next week. I foresee, I mean, if we're doing retcon ghosts shit, I foresee a scenario in which something goes off to the point where it can't be fixed. So like someone dies that's not supposed to, or someone lives that's not supposed to. I have my suspicions on that second one. And for like a ghost cataclysm to occur, you know?
Yeah, because I remember at first there was that all that shit's happening, and you're going like, oh, we're just expanding with whatever's happening in Cloud's head, and then it's like, no, this is not in Cloud's head. This is
new. This is new.
And when Tifa wakes you up and goes, oh my God, Cloud, it's horrible. Look, and the whole town is overrun, and you're just like, oh, this is not real. This is in his head. He's gonna wake up.
I thought it was a dream.
He's gonna wake up. This is insane. This is way too impactful of a moment. And then it's like, nah, that's totally real. You're, what the fuck you mean that's real? And everyone's just in bed, not sleeping through this ghost apocalypse.
That's crazy.
All right. We definitely don't have to do the well, depending on where you get to and where I get to, we'll see how to address future episode.
Mothman said something hilarious in the chat, which is something I actually thought about, which was, what if it's all a dream from his coma trip into the live stream in the wheelchair?
Yeah, of course. That's totally what I thought about that.
Like, wouldn't that be bananas?
I didn't think about it as the wheelchair coma. I thought about it as within live stream shit. Time fuckery. Yeah. I thought to me, I'm like, what if it's within the stream? You know,
because there's an element of Prince of Persia almost to this, where it's like, no.
That's not what happened. Yeah.
Very excited.
All right.
And that's it for us, I guess.
Yeah, that's a fine video game for a fine podcast. Wop wop. Okay. Well, what's your hour count at, by the way?
Right now? I streamed it 4,766, so minus an hour and a half of stream times. Let's say 15.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe 15 to 20.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at 13. So yeah, that's fucking accurate clocks. Thank God.